So in a few minutes, you're going to hear from countries and companies that are joining us on this vital journey. We're all joining forces for a simple reason. We see an urgent need, and we believe that the ETA offers a very promising solution. The need is crystal clear. If we're going to keep 1.5 degrees alive, Celsius, as a real benchmark, the North Star, if you will, for where we go forward in our climate planning and in our efforts, then developing countries must transition from dirty to clean power much more rapidly than we're doing today, and that includes these larger emerging entities that are responsible for the lion's share of these emissions. The IEA tells us that clean energy investment in developing and emerging economies, including China, must increase sevenfold, folks. Sevenfold by the early 2030s. So, for those of us who've been traveling around talking to people in various countries trying to figure out how are we going to motivate that money to deploy, well, you have to create the bankable deals. You have to make it attractive. You have to de-risk. You have to blend the finance. We've heard about this now for several years, but we haven't yet implemented it, and we haven't put in place the tools that will excite that. That is precisely the aim of the Energy Transition Accelerator. It's an innovative carbon finance platform that will help developing countries to attract the financial resources they need and be able to speed up the transformation of their electric power sectors. It is going to support ambitious, just energy transition strategies. And those strategies are strategies that will, one, deliver earlier and deeper emissions reductions. Two, address the needs of workers and communities in the transition. And three, help developing countries to be able to achieve their NDCs. The ETA is going to do this by building a powerful coalition of countries and companies who together are committed to deploying carbon markets to drive ambition and action. Lest anybody come here saying, well, we don't know about the carbon market. How many of you have heard of acid rain? Acid rain, you don't hear about it anymore because it's not as much problem anymore. And that's a carbon market that helped make that happen. So let me be clear. This is not the kind of carbon crediting that you read about in some headlines, unfortunately, occasionally. This is a high-integrity carbon crediting, the kind we need to be able to encourage people be able to be comfortable with this approach.
Hi, I'm Peter Rosberg. I've been in fintech for about 25 years, so I've seen a lot of interesting things in Silicon Valley in a variety of engineering and product roles. Most recently, I've been at Ripple for 5.5 years, and the past 2 years of my tenure at Ripple, I've focused specifically on climate and the carbon markets. And Ripple's been really leaning into helping address the climate crisis and sustainability. And I personally work with the XRPL Grants Committee evaluating project proposals in the sustainability space. And I also directly help projects and developers leverage the XRPL to create innovative projects that address climate change and sustainability problems. Great. I think I gave a great segue into myself on talking about dynamic baselining and MRV. It wasn't intentional, but I think it worked out. Yeah, there's some amazing stuff in the intersection of blockchain and AI that I think we're in an inflection point where we can provide a lot of tools to these projects. So first, one thing that really gets me excited is how do we level the playing field for some of these smaller projects? They need to have the tools. You've got these large governmental projects or big, well-financed projects, but how do you level the playing field for like smaller, projects that are just happening, directly being produced by these, farmers in Colombia? And one of the ways you can do that is by providing an open network where you can share data freely and anybody can access it, on chain, blockchain. Allow free storage of data and information that anybody can inspect. Really helps level the playing field. Provide tools on top of that. I'm working with a number of developers to help provide these tools and make it much easier for these projects to upload information on chain, and then track and create dashboards and reports on like who's buying what credits and how valuable are they and how impactful are they. In terms of AI, I think we're just starting to scratch the surface on how a lot of AI is going to impact this work. One of the most important things for projects is measuring, reporting, verification. It's called MRV, right? And the impact on AI is already happening for the measuring and verification pieces. So there's drone software now where you can analyze satellite imagery and drone imagery to see what the forest canopy is for the diverse, analyzing the diversity of the ecosystem and what trees are there that are sequestering what amount of carbon. There's starting to be some real cool biodiversity measures where they're just hanging microphones in forests to analyze bird song or other noises to figure out what the biodiversity is. And then finally being able to crowdsource people, on the ground doing data collection with their phones and, helping set up remote sensors where you can now easily aggregate that data and then turn that into meaningful reporting information by taking this huge amount of data and distilling it down into the things you need to provide science-based backing of methodologies that are supporting how much biodiversity you're increasing in the area or carbon you're sequestering with the forest canopy.